Me too. I want to talk about this movement that's happening on social media about Me Too. Predominantly women sharing, just sharing it in solidarity that they too have experienced some kind of sexual harassment or sexual assault. And it's about bringing awareness about how common it is to experience these things. So I feel that it's great. It's a great thing to bring awareness that the sheer amount of sexual harassment, sexual assault is absolutely insurmountable. It's unacceptable. It's true. No one should have to go through being catcalled or touched inappropriately or forced or pressured into doing something that they don't want. So this, I think, is great. This movement is great. It's going to be increasing the conversation. It's going to be increasing the awareness. However, there's a danger here too, because it can very easily turn into a whole bunch of people pushing against men and putting men into this category as rapists or sexual assaulters. And I feel that it's not really just a problem at the sheer amount of people experiencing sexual harassment. It's actually more so the social condition that we're in that births this inability, this forgetting of how to treat one another. And men get sexually assaulted and harassed too, probably more often than we even could imagine. But for them, it's kind of okay, right? Like if a woman forces herself on a man, well, that's probably just a cool story, or it's okay, or they should just like it or allow it. See, now men and women are very, very different. Where a woman, sexuality and sexual pleasure is often more mental or emotional rather than just physical. Where with a man, yes, there is the emotional and mental component. However, it is visceral, physical stimulation that happens. So beyond just that, it's really interesting. And I think if we move forward with just compassion for one moment to look at the man's perspective. So a man is taught to be strong, to be tough, to go after what he wants. A man is supposed to initiate, right? We want men to initiate with their feelings, to initiate with the physicality, to go after what they want, because that's what makes a real man. So in these situations where this happens, which often has some sort of substance involved, like alcohol or drugs, the man might get a signal, or he might interpret something, and he might go after what he wants, say in terms of a kiss. So the kiss will occur, and then he'll push forward for further going after what he wants. And at that point, the woman might feel that this is not what she wants, and there's two options. Instead of just saying, hey, like, I don't want this, there's this aggression that comes up, and this fear and this pushing and this resistance and this feeling of this is wrong and this is awful. And so then it's interpreted as sexual harassment, right? Where it's like, was that the man's intention? Or was he just going with the feelings and going after what he wants? I've spoken to a lot of men, a lot of my male friends about this, and there's such a fine line between being a man and being attractive and then being a sexual predator, right? We think that there's not a fine line, but really in our interpretations of people's actions, it really is a fine line, and it becomes very, very confusing. And like, I'm not one to put the blame on anybody, especially I'll talk men and women here. I'm not going to put the blame on women by, oh, you wore that short skirt and so you deserve to be raped. Or, oh, you were too flirty or touched him in a certain way or hugged him or looked at him in a certain way, so you deserve to be pushed upon. That's not what I feel. But I do feel that we are in a society where we're so fucked up and we totally don't know how to relate to one another. And the signals are all wrong. And women are frustrated and angry and hurt, and men are frustrated and angry and hurt, that our interactions are so disgustingly off. We've so forgotten how to relate, how to talk to one another, how to express how we feel within ourselves, how to express how we feel for one another, that of course, every single person that you know feels that they've been sexually harassed. So it's not really about just awareness. It's about having a conversation of how can we fix this? How can we create a society where we feel safe with one another, where we feel that we can express ourselves safely, non-violently, with acceptance, non-judgment. So it's about having these conversations. It's about being real. It's about being authentic. It's about speaking your truth. And it's about loving one another and teaching one another what is acceptable from a place of love. So yes, this Me Too, this is great, bringing awareness. But now it's not about bringing condemnation. It's about having a conversation so that we can return to the love. Because men and women in society today, yeah, sure, we don't need each other. We can be super independent. We can live our own lives. We can have a band of boys and band of girls who just hate each other, and we wage war and see who's better, try to come up on top. But really, I think that right now we have the opportunity to ask the question, how can we come together? How can we have compassion? How can we have understanding? How can we teach one another, our parents, our children, that united is where the power is, and divided we will both fall, as we're seeing. So anyone who's watching this, please just think, how can I be more loving? And how can I have a conversation, speak my truth from a place of compassion to be able to change the situation?